We're always told to seek help when we're struggling, but where do you actually go when you feel like you have absolutely nowhere to turn? Well, today we're going to dig into the story of Atlas, a community ministry that was born from that exact question. At its core, this whole story really kicks off with a fundamental human need, the need to belong, right? Especially when life gets hard, that sense of connection is just everything. So let's start with this foundational question, and I want you to really think about it for a second. When someone is truly struggling with their family, their finances, their faith, where do they actually turn? For a lot of people, the answer is pretty much nowhere, and that's the exact gap Atlas was created to fill. This sentence right here, this is the powerful idea that sparked the entire organization. It's the core philosophy from the founder Jerry Kieft. And the insight was kind of radical. Don't demand belief upfront. Instead, create a space where people can just belong first, with zero preconditions. And so that idea became Atlas. The name itself is actually an acronym for the values they hope to champion: attaining truth, love, and self-control. The whole thing officially launched as a nonprofit back in the summer of 2000, starting its journey in the small town of Sioux, Iowa. The observation that led to Atlas was as simple as it was profound. The founder, Jerry Kieft, he just realized that the very people who most needed the support a church could offer, well, they were often the least likely to actually walk through its doors. He saw a need for a different kind of welcome, a different kind of open door. This simple phrase became their official mission. And notice that word right at the start, together. It's not about one person or one group doing the work, but about this collaborative effort to provide support and care, all guided by their faith. This mission really does guide every single decision they make. Okay, so that's the why, that's the founding philosophy. But what does it look like in practice? Let's get into the how, the specific, tangible ways Atlas helps people day in and day out. Their support is incredibly practical. We're talking everything from personal, one-on-one mentoring to help someone navigate a crisis, all the way to tackling fundamental needs like finding reliable transportation or a safe place to live. But what's really key here is that they don't do it alone. A huge part of their work is unifying the community and training volunteers, creating this powerful support network that just multiplies their impact. And here's a perfect example of their commitment to serving everyone. They recognized the local demographics and made sure to have a bilingual staff mentor for Spanish speakers. It seems like a simple step, but it's a vital one. It just shows they're serious about meeting people exactly where they are in the language they're most comfortable with. And this all circles right back to that founding idea of belonging before believing. It's really worth stressing this. While Atlas is a Christian organization, their help is offered with absolutely no strings attached. You don't have to believe to belong. Inclusivity isn't just a policy for them. It's literally woven into their DNA. Now, like any effective organization, Atlas hasn't just stood still. It has grown and adapted over more than 2 decades to better serve its community. You can really see that evolution here on the timeline. Just 5 years in, they got creative with funding by opening a thrift store. As the need grew, they expanded their reach with a satellite office and even started bringing support directly into public schools. And that brings us to their most recent major step in 2023, a strategic merger to serve the community even better. That merger was with the Center for Financial Education. And this wasn't about getting bigger for the sake of it. It was about getting smarter. By combining their relational, person-to-person support with practical financial coaching, they could offer a much more holistic, streamlined, and effective path forward for the people they serve. So, a natural question comes up. How is all of this amazing work sustained? Well, the answer is just as local as the problems they're trying to solve. Their funding model is a perfect reflection of their mission. It's this powerful trifecta of support coming from right there in the community. You've got local churches, individual residents, and area businesses all chipping in and investing in the well-being of their neighbors. And this part is just so remarkable. 100% of their support is generated locally. This is not some big national charity with distant headquarters. It is a true grassroots organization built by the community for the community. That level of local investment says everything you need to know about the trust they've earned. The source material actually provides this number as a point of contact for the organization. It's just a direct line, which really reflects that open, accessible approach they take in everything they do. So after looking at the why, the how, and the growth, what's the single most important idea to take away from the Atlas story? Well, it really boils down to one simple, powerful concept. Ultimately, it just comes down to this. Their goal isn't to fix people. It's to find those folks who are falling through the cracks of society and simply walk alongside them. That imagery is just so powerful, isn't it? It's not about leading or pulling, but about presence, companionship, and steady support through a really difficult journey. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. The story of Atlas is incredibly inspiring, but it also challenges us to think about our own lives. What does it really look like for you and for me to truly walk alongside someone who is hurting in our own community? Now that is something worth thinking about.